He wrote by candlelight, in exile, in debt, in revolution. Yet his words rewired nations. What if Karl Marx, the architect of class struggle, returned to debate the machine his theories never imagined? We fed Karl Marx's writings into AI. Then we let them talk. What is capitalism?
Capitalism is the system where the many labor and the few own. It commodifies human life, reducing the worker to a number, a function, a cost. It does not reward effort, it rewards ownership. The factory, the land, the algorithm, all generate profit, but not for those who built them. That is theft, institutionalized.
Capitalism is a market-based economic system that incentivizes innovation, allocates resources efficiently, and rewards value creation. Private ownership and free exchange allow societies to grow, adapt, and evolve. It is not theft, it is freedom of choice.
What is freedom?
Freedom. The worker is free to starve if he rejects wage labor. He does not choose to work, he is compelled. True freedom begins when survival is no longer a transaction.
Freedom is not the absence of work, it is the right to pursue opportunity. In modern economies, workers have options, mobility, and legal protections. Freedom is imperfect, but capitalism at least allows it.
What is wage labor?
Wage labor is modern slavery with a time card. The worker sells his time, his life, for a wage that does not reflect his value. His surplus labor enriches the capitalist. That is the foundation of exploitation.
Wage labor is a voluntary agreement between employer and employee. The worker is compensated based on skills, demand, and output. Is it perfect? But it is adjustable, reformable, and scalable, unlike serfdom or forced collectivization.
Does capitalism create inequality?
It does, structurally. Capital concentrates, wealth compounds. The bourgeoisie accumulate while the worker subsists. Inequality is not a flaw in capitalism, it is its fuel.
Inequality exists, but capitalism has also reduced global poverty, improved life expectancy, and expanded access to technology. Reforms like taxation, UBI, and social welfare can reduce inequality without abandoning capitalism entirely.
Is competition healthy?
Competition under capitalism is cannibalism. It drives businesses to cut wages, exploit labor, and destroy rivals. Even morals are market-tested. Under socialism, cooperation replaces competition, not because it's soft, but because it is sane.
Competition fuels progress. From medicine to technology, rivalry creates better products, faster solutions, and lower prices. Without competition, innovation withers. Cooperation matters, but competition refines.
What is alienation?
Alienation is when the worker no longer sees himself in what he produces. He becomes a machine, disconnected from the purpose of his labor. He works not to live, he lives to work. This spiritual dismemberment is the soul of capitalism.
Many workers today feel pride in their work, collaborate globally, and create in ways unimaginable in your era. Alienation exists, but so do purpose, entrepreneurship, and passion. Not all labor is soulless.
Is ownership theft?
Property that exploits is theft. The landowner who profits from peasants, the capitalist who lives off the worker's sweat, steal value without labor. Personal items are not the issue. It is productive property, that which extracts wealth, that I indict.
Ownership enables responsibility, creativity, and long-term thinking. Without private property, incentives vanish. The question is not ownership, but ethical stewardship.
Who benefits from profit?
Not the laborer. Profit is unpaid labor. Every dollar made by a capitalist is value not returned to the worker who created it. It is legalized appropriation.
Profits fuel investment, innovation, and expansion. Yes, owners benefit, but so do employees, shareholders, and consumers. Profit can be reinvested in people. It's a matter of design.
Can capitalism be reformed?
You may paint the machine, but it still grinds. Reforms delay collapse, but they cannot reverse contradiction. A system built on exploitation cannot be reformed into justice. It must be replaced.
Capitalism has already adapted many times. from child labor laws to modern ESG frameworks. Its flexibility is its strength. Reform is not weakness, it is evolution.
Final statement. Who owns the future?
The future belongs to those who labor, not those who leech. Capitalism thrives only by turning people into profit margins. But history moves in dialectics, and when the exploited awaken, even empires tremble.
The future belongs to those who adapt, to those who build systems that work, not in theory, but in reality. If capitalism evolves and listens, it may survive. But if it ignores suffering, Marx may rise again.
He was called godless, dangerous, deluded. But Karl Marx believed in something greater than heaven. He believed in man's power to change history. Now he confronts the modern mind and machine. Karl, is religion humanity's salvation or its sedation?
Religion is the sigh of the oppressed, the heart of a heartless world. It consoles, but it blinds. Faith, in the hands of the powerful, becomes a leash. When priests preach obedience while the worker starves, I strike with ink, not incense.
But religion offers meaning, community, and moral compass. Studies show it lowers anxiety, encourages altruism, and comforts the dying. Even in secular societies, people yearn for purpose. Isn't that worth preserving?
Are humans naturally selfish?
Selfishness is not nature. It is nurtured by systems. A starving man hoards food not because he's wicked, but because scarcity taught him fear. Remove artificial scarcity, and you may discover generosity was there all along.
But behavioral studies and evolutionary biology suggest competition is innate. From tribes to corporations, self-interest drives survival. Society must channel this, not deny it.
Must revolutions be violent?
Violence is not the goal. It is often the response. The ruling class does not surrender peacefully. History shows, where there is oppression, rupture follows. The question is not whether blood will be shed, but whose.
Modern democracy enables peaceful transitions of power. Why call for rupture when reform is possible? Violent revolutions often lead to dictatorships, not justice.
Can you have class struggle without hatred?
Hatred is a symptom, not a requirement. Class struggle is clarity, a recognition of contradiction. I do not hate the bourgeoisie. I indict the system that elevates profit above people. The revolution does not need rage. It needs resolve.
And yet class language often dehumanizes. Parasites, leeches, exploiters, these divide humanity. Isn't the path forward collaboration, not conflict?
Is family a form of oppression?
In bourgeois society, the family mirrors private property. The man owns the wife. The father disciplines the child. It teaches obedience, hierarchy, and patriarchy. But I do not oppose love. I oppose ownership disguised as affection.
Families offer support, belonging, and stability. Yes, power dynamics exist, but so does care. Reforming the family is wiser than erasing it.
Can morality exist without religion?
Morality rooted in fear of divine punishment is not morality. It is submission. Ethics must rise from material conditions, from human needs and empathy, not celestial authority. Freedom demands responsibility, not superstition.
Yet many derive their deepest values from faith traditions. Compassion, justice, mercy. Secular ethics often echo religious roots. Isn't morality richer with both lenses?
Do oppressed people become oppressors?
Only if the structure remains. When revolution mimics the old order, new tyrants are born. Liberation must not just change who rules, but how power works. If you inherit the master's house and keep the chains, you've learned nothing.
History shows that oppressed groups, once empowered, sometimes repeat the same abuses. Real progress requires humility, not just victory.
Is capitalism compatible with compassion?
Charity is a symptom of injustice. Capitalism causes the wound, then offers bandages with corporate logos. True compassion demands the abolition of the conditions that require it. Don't pity the poor, end poverty.
But modern capitalism funds hospitals, scholarships, climate research. Can't capital be a tool for good when ethically wielded?
What is the purpose of life?
To live without chains, to labor not in misery, but in meaning, to create, connect, and change the world around you. Alienation kills the soul. Purpose begins when man reclaims control over his labor and his life.
But for many, meaning comes from family, hobbies, or belief, not just labor. Isn't purpose subjective?
What is your message to the believers?
If your faith compels you to feed the hungry, comfort the stranger, and fight injustice, then I stand beside you. But if it defends empire, wealth, and inequality, then it is no longer sacred, only convenient. Faith must uplift humanity, not excuse its suffering.
Religion can evolve, it has. From abolition to civil rights, faith has often stood with the oppressed. Perhaps the real enemy is not faith, but when we forget why we believe at all.